All right, Al, thank you very much. This morning we're joined by NBC's chief legal correspondent, Dan Abrams, who's got a story that is very close to his heart. Dan, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Matt. Today marks a sad anniversary. On September 9th of last year, a local news personality here in New York named Sean Kimmerling lost his battle with testicular cancer. It's the most common form of cancer amongst young men. Even though I never met Sean, I haven't been able to stop thinking about him because his story could have been mine, literally.
In Atlanta tonight, the rarest of the rare.
Sportscaster Sean Kimmerling was living his childhood dream. A lifelong sports fanatic from Westchester, New York, Sean's passion had always been the New York Mets.
He would have this game with my father, his grandfather, where he would be an announcer and they would go back and forth, and he actually had a little microphone and he would announce the Mets games.
Now he was doing it for real as a sports reporter and anchor for New York's WPIX.
Evidently, these guys have to be in good shape.
He had worked hard to get there. After journalism school in California, Sean couldn't find a job.
He had an idea, and his idea was to pack the car with videotapes. And he said he's going to knock on every single station from the West Coast to the East Coast until he landed a job.
His tenacity paid off. Sean was hired at a small Texas station, then moved to Oklahoma, before eventually making it back home.
It was absolutely his dream to report on the Mets, to be a part of it, and to see the people who were his heroes when he was little.
After nearly 6 years in New York, Sean was a rising star, well-liked and respected, in great physical shape, and getting ready to settle down with his longtime girlfriend. What he didn't know? That there was already a deadly disease eating away at his body.
He would complain of back pain, and it would be ongoing, and he would take some Motrin and he would get some relief from it. The symptoms that he had were symptoms that most people wouldn't even figure that would cause this kind of a disease.
He just thought his back hurt.
Absolutely.
But sophisticated scans showed something far more dangerous.
We met with the doctor, and the doctor said that he has an advanced stage of testicular cancer.
We had the best doctors, the best hospital, but it was too late.
The cancer was too advanced. On September 9th, 2003, just a month after being diagnosed, Sean Kimmerling died. He was 37. That same month, at that same hospital, being treated for the same disease as Sean, was another single 37-year-old New York-based newscaster. Me. My doctor was Joel Scheinfeld.
How would you describe my case in terms of when it was discovered and how it looked when I got here?
Your case, fortunately, was a low-stage tumor, diagnosed promptly, approximately 1 or 2 weeks after you initially felt an abnormality.
I got lucky.
Yes, you did.
Weeks earlier, I happened to be watching a silly movie on TV while on vacation. One of the characters had testicular cancer. Some of his symptoms sounded familiar. Days earlier, I'd noticed a painless lump on my testicle. When I got home, I learned it was cancer. Doctors eventually removed the tumor, and now it looks like I'm in the clear.
Patients at highest risk for the development of testicular cancer are young men. It's the most common cancer of young men. The typical ages are 18 to 35. I think it's critical that young men be taught how to perform self-exam so that they, in turn, can detect this at an early stage when it is highly, highly curable.
That's the message Sean Kimmerling's family is trying to get out by creating a foundation in his name.
If some other family can be spared this, some other beautiful young person can live their life out, that's what he would have wanted, and that's what we all want.
Matt, I've kept this sort of a secret even from many of my closest friends. Most of my colleagues didn't know.
I didn't know, yeah.
And it was hearing that Sean had said when he was in the hospital, he said, you know what, if I survive this, I want to give something back by educating young men about this. And that's always just stuck with me. And he can't do it. So here I am, reluctantly, but here.
I remember watching him on TV. He seemed like a nice guy. I never met him. But I'm curious how you're doing now. We need to talk about your current condition.
I am fine. I mean, I really was lucky.
What do the doctors say?
Well, the fact that I caught it early allowed them to diagnose it quickly. remove the cancer. I did have to have a second surgery where they had to cut into my abdomen and remove a lot of my lymph nodes to make sure that the cancer had not spread. But I didn't even have to have chemotherapy, no radiation. I was really what the doctors hoped to find, which is, and that's why I'm out here talking about it, is the key is early detection, examining yourself to see if you notice anything abnormal. And if you do, this is the biggest problem, is that most of the time, on the average, they say it's 6 months from the time, these are young guys.
Right, yeah, 18 to 35.
Yeah, I mean, 6 months from the time they notice something to the time they're diagnosed. And that's the big problem. And, you know, even if you're not talking about death, in many cases, you're talking about the need to get chemo when you wouldn't have needed it if you'd gotten in there early.
Dan, first of all, thanks for sharing Sean's story. And we're just happy you're okay. And thanks for sharing yours as well. We appreciate it. It's 41 after the hour. For more information about the Sean Kimmerling Testicular Cancer Foundation, you can log on to our website at today.msnbc.com.